Hello, my name is Lakia Brown. I'm a registered nurse. This video is leader and interview video for Excelsior College Communications class, Leadership and Team Building. The purpose of this video is to gain insight and perspective from a current leader who knows what it takes to make an effective leader. The interviewee is Gwen Tucker. She was the manager of St. Paul's Child Care Center in Rybrook, New York. She left when the school was closed due to COVID and decided not to return and take some time off. I had to interview her over the phone as neither of our schedules allowed. She's very busy with her doggy playdates for her newly adopted rescue Wally. I chose to interview her because she's not only good at what she does, she actually loves what she does, and that is such a rare combination in this day and age. I chose questions that I didn't think would be too challenging while also giving me pertinent information to this assignment. So, just to give you an idea of who she is, here's Gwen, and here's some pictures of Gwen in her classrooms over the years. So to start with, I asked her, and I'm going to retell the questions that I posed during the interview, and I'm going to use her direct quotations. How would you describe your leadership style? My management style is one based on everyone working together and not micromanaging. Do you complete tasks assigned to you completely and efficiently? I try to complete tasks quickly and efficiently, but I like to make sure I take my time so I get everything right in a timely fashion. Are you considered a mentor? I'm not sure if I'm considered a mentor. I try to be the best role model as leader, and hopefully I have inspired people to do the same. I do consider myself to be a leader and not a dictator. A leader makes sure the whole team works together to come up with creative ideas how to make our team more efficient. Are you a problem solver? My problem solving skills are definitely something that I continue to work on every day. When you're in a supervisory position, you can't want to please everyone because that will take you down a dark path. How has your management style changed over time? My management style has changed in the way that I learned to separate myself as a supervisor from the employees. I can be friendly, but we have to separate business from friendship. What is a common way you see people fail as managers? The common way I see people failing in management is, again, you cannot mix business with pleasure. You cannot try to be friends with the people you supervise because it can be a slippery slope. How do you handle your mistakes in the workplace? How I handle my mistakes in the workplace is that I own up to them because we all make them, and the only way to get better is to recognize and do your best to improve. How do you manage the performance of your employees? I manage the performance of my employees by doing yearly evaluations, during which I talk about the positives and the negatives and set goals for ourselves within the next 2 years. How do you evaluate what success is? I evaluate what success is by looking at my team overall, and if people come into work loving what they do, I consider that a success. Tell me a little bit about yourself. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I've been working with young children for about 25 years. I'm big into early childhood education. I've got my bachelor's degree in early childhood and a child development associate, a CDA, which I had to take many management courses to prepare me for a leadership role. What is your motivation? I think motivation is a very important part of what drives anyone. I think I'm motivated to make a mark in this world and somehow make a difference. For me, the best way is in a child's life, which will possibly in turn make the world even better. How long have you worked as a manager? I worked as a manager in healthcare for 10 years. And childcare for 10 years. I'm healthcare. Sorry about that. What are your greatest strengths? I believe one of my greatest strengths is how I care much about people and how I want to inspire other teachers to become leaders. What did you enjoy the most, and what did you enjoy the least at your previous position? What I enjoyed the most in my previous position is that I worked at a daycare, and working with the children along with great staff really make you feel good, even if you're in a bad mood. What I enjoyed least in my last position was the child care council meetings and people on the board who had no education in early childhood but made decisions for the preschool. What is your dream job? My dream job would be to get paid to sit on a beach and stare at the sky all day. But a realistic dream job would be to work with inner city education system. And that concludes the interview I have with Gwen. Some of the insights that I learned from the exercise is, I learned that professionalism is very important in the workplace to maintain your role as a leader. I think that's what Gwen was saying when she said you can't mix business with pleasure. Although what I've learned in this class is that authoritative leaders don't work either. I believe you can get along with your staff, like maybe eating lunch together or talking about your personal life at times, but it's crossing the line to do unprofessional things like sharing gossip. For example, which leadership style do you see that person following? Is he or she aware of the type of leadership that he or she implements? I think Gwen is a great manager that is on the verge of becoming a leader when she develops her emotional intelligence. I think she has to work on her self-awareness so that she doesn't become chained down into an authoritative leadership style. It seems she is on her way, knowing that she has to give her employees freedom. But the fact is that she's holding on to some hurt from a previous work relationship experience and needs to let it go. How does it help you reflect on your own leadership style? It helps me to reflect on the fact that we say separate business from pleasure, but I think that if you're emotionally intelligent, that only makes sense if the issue arises of unprofessionalism or inappropriate behavior. I think your work should be your pleasure. You should enjoy what you do and be free to make pleasant relationships at work. A happy work environment will keep morale going and lead to retaining staff. Were you inspired by him or her? If so, what could you adopt or practice that would assist you in growing as a leader? I am inspired by her passion for what she does. I feel that is what is motivating me to make the decision to go into grad school for nurse practitioner so I can be a leader for my patients and staff. Did she give you information on her mistakes as a leader? What she described as a mistake, I believe, was her getting too close to her staff and some gossip ensued. She wasn't clear on exactly what happened, but that's why I said you can be close to your staff until it reaches a level of unprofessionalism, i.e. gossip. If so, what behavior might you avoid as leader? Now I make it a practice to avoid gossiping. When an employee wants to tell me some gossip, I just change the subject to the weather or my pets. I could talk about my pets for hours. So in conclusion, I learned from Gwen that passion is such an important part of who we are, and it should be reflected in our work. I wish everyone had the opportunity to work in a field that they love, but I feel so blessed that, like Gwen, I'm in a field I love. So with that passion comes dedication, and I told her I respect that she has additional degrees and certifications in her field. Continuing education is very important as a leader. However, what Gwen needs to work on is her emotional intelligence and not feel she has to shield herself from getting too close to her employees. Just make it a habit to avoid gossip, maybe even at home, and it will become a second nature. Lastly, she definitely has what it takes to become a leader, and she wants to be an inspiration for future teachers. Thank you very much.